This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On Air.
Welcome to Disabled Persons Assembly's Notable Radio Show. DPA is a systemic advocacy organisation run by and for disabled people. DPA is a pan-impaired organisation with members across the country. Over the next half hour, we'll discover how we can work collaboratively to achieve inclusion for all New Zealanders. DPA's Notable Radio Show, a whole new attitude.
Kia ora, my name is Amy Taylor and I am the Kaituitui or Community Connector for DPA. Welcome to DPA's Notable Radio. Today we're going to be talking about community organisations that benefit the disabled community. Now, not all of these organisations are not-for-profits. We have businesses that benefit the disabled community. We have charities that benefit the disabled community. And this is just a handful of local organisations that I've come across that, while they might not necessarily be completely disability focused, some of them are, they have a really beneficial impact on our community. And they are organisations that you might want to get involved in maybe in a volunteer capacity or a fundraising capacity, or perhaps you just want to use their services. So I'm just going to highlight some organisations today that I feel really have a positive impact on the local disabled community here in Ōtepoti, Dunedin. So the first one I'd like to talk about is Riding for the Disabled. Dunedin Riding for the Disabled is a charity that provides interactions with horses to improve health and well-being outcomes for people experiencing disability. My own daughter has attended a couple of their holiday programs, and now while their holiday programs are not particularly focused on children with disabilities, they do definitely cater very well for children with disabilities. My daughter is neurodiverse, she has severe ADHD, and it really felt as a parent that I was sending her to a very enriching environment where she was safe and cared for, and her needs were very much catered. There's something absolutely special about having the opportunity to interact with animals. And I think in the disabled community, many of us have so much going on in our lives that keeping pets can sometimes just feel a little bit overwhelming, and especially the work that would go into actually keeping a horse or a pony, even if you did live in a rural setting. So there's something that disabled children don't necessarily get the opportunity to interact with horses regularly as it is. And research suggests that equine therapy can improve mood and self-esteem, social engagement, and enhance focus in neurodiverse children. It also is effective physical therapy for those with physical disabilities, as it improves balance and posture. And the team at Dunedin Riding for the Disabled are absolutely committed to the mahi of enhancing the lives of people with disabilities through equine therapy. So I would also like to highlight that Riding for the Disabled Dunedin is hosting a fundraising dance, and it's not for a little while. It's on the 20th of September, and it's called Swing into Spring. Tickets are $40 and can be obtained by emailing treasurer@rda.dunedin.org. That's treasurer@rda.dunedin.org. Please support your local disabled organisations. They really do wonderful mahi in our local Dunedin area. So the next organisation I would like to talk to everybody about today is the Bowling Club. Now, the name is a bit misleading. Perhaps you think it's a club for bowling, but I think most locals in Dunedin know the Bowling Club is a business that is modelled around the idea that food can be healthy and it can be affordable. And if you make enough of it, if you cater for a large group of people, you can bring those prices down. And so they're low-cost meals, and they often make 1,000 meals a day. So these people are incredibly busy, and they're really, really effective in their business model in serving the community. So Jackie and Liam are the founders and owners, And they really do serve our community insofar as they offer things like free meals. And they don't question why you might need a free meal, because let's face it, there are days that even those that are working find money is a little bit tight. So you can go into the bowling club and just ask for a meal and they will give you one. And even if you can afford to pay for their meals, they're really, really affordable. Some of them are only $4 or $5 for a main. And a healthy, nutritious food, which is also tasty. And really, really beneficial for the disabled community, because sometimes meal preparation is something that we really do struggle with. Lots of people do get support worker assistance, but they might not be there every day and they might not have the time to completely make a meal for you. And also there's obviously shopping involved and meal planning, and all these things can become quite overwhelming for many people in the disabled community. So having access to really affordable, healthy meals from the bowling club really benefits many people in our community, and we're deeply thankful to Jackie and Liam for the work that they do, even though they are a for-profit business. So don't feel like if you are on good income you can't go along and use their services. You absolutely can, and you should, because you supporting their business supports the community and helps them put out more free meals for the community. The bowling club is situated in Caversham. However, they do deliveries basically across the whole of the Dunedin area to various community venues. And this means that you can access bowling club meals even if you are not located in the Caversham area. So the bowling club delivers to OUSA, to Bin in Dunedin, to the Valley Project, the Port Chalmers Library, to the Brighton Surf Club, to the Taieri Network in Mosgiel, Blueskin Bay Library, McAndrew Bay, Broad Bay, Milton and Balclutha. So even if you live out in Balclutha, you can still access bowling club meals. So wherever you live in Dunedin, you can go on their Facebook group and it will show you the days that they deliver in your particular area. So find them on social media, or they are located at 337 South Road in Caversham. And please support this little business. It really, the impact that they have had, positive impact that they have had on the Dunedin community is pretty much overwhelming. So we would hate to see them not being able to continue with the mahi that they have started and really flourish in doing. So the next organisation I would like to highlight is the Fern Collective. So the Fern Collective is an independent team committed to delivering social, therapeutic and community and alternative education services. So they're wonderful in that they are both neurodiversity affirming and focused on chronic illness. A lot of therapy services and connection services are really have maybe a bit of an old-fashioned model on disability and neglect some of our neurodiverse and chronic illness community. So the Fern Collective is really good at embracing this. They offer therapy groups for all ages, from preschool to adults. And there is I've seen photos. I've never actually been to their venue, which is unfortunately not wheelchair accessible at this stage, just owing to constraints on where they could actually get a venue. But if you look at the pictures of their venue, it just looks like such a wonderful space for people to be in. It's really, they have such a great array of sensory toys and activities, just a relaxing, engaging space. And so wonderful if people can support this initiative as well. If you would like to get in touch with them, you can contact Holly on 021 136 7138. That's Holly on 021 136 7138. Now, more of an adult-focused group is enabling love and friendship. It's a huge challenge in the disabled community, accessing social interaction. Many of us are really lonely and isolated, and this can be things like mobility limitations and transport costs. All sorts of things can really limit how much disabled people can actually get out in the community. And there's also a huge stigma associated with romance and disability, and it goes back a long time, and there's all sorts of really nasty social ideals that disabled people can't form relationships or they can't be involved with romantic connections and sexual activity, and it's just basically nonsense. Disabled people are just as wanting and willing to form romantic connections as anybody else. So enabling love and friendship is a fantastic group because it really opens up this romantic and friendship arena to disabled people. They offer community and support to meet new people. They have coffee groups and workshops, and a Friday night club is starting up. They also offer a social connections course, and all the costs are kept really affordable. They're supported by the Dunedin City Council, and it's just absolutely fantastic to see that we are embracing the idea that disabled people can form romantic connections. It absolutely should. A number of the traditional ways of meeting people to form romantic connections, like dating apps or speed dating, bring up a huge number of challenges for disabled people. So enabling love and friendship Dunedin really fills a space. And that's really, really great to actually see this mahi going on in our community. So if you want to contact them, their email address is inquiries@enablingLove.nz. That's inquiries@enablingLove.nz. They also have a fantastic website. I was really impressed for a small community group. It's a really comprehensive website. So I'd also like to talk about the various networks that we have. DPA is involved with the South Dunedin Community Network, the Taieri Network, and the Greater Green Island Community Network. I'm aware that there are other networks, and the Valley Project also is really active, but these are the ones that DPA is primarily connected with and working with in Dunedin. So we have a number of local networks in Dunedin, and they function to connect people and strengthen communities. The South Dunedin Community Network runs the South Dunedin Street Festival. They're also involved with work like the South Dunedin Future Project, which you will know is the project from the Dunedin City Council, which focuses on the huge flooding problem that we potentially have in South Dunedin. And over the years, there have been a number of very significant floods that have affected that local community. So the South Dunedin Community Network really brings voices directly from the community, directly from people affected by the flooding, and brings those voices to the South Dunedin Future Project. The South Dunedin Street Festival, I don't know whether any of you have ever been along. It's just wonderful. Such a lovely atmosphere with live entertainment and stalls from a number of community groups, and just really, a good community feel and wonderful entertainment. So that happens once a year. And I really thoroughly enjoyed the last South Dunedin Street Festival, and I'd like to be more involved in the future. They're also involved with the South Dunedin Library Project, which is currently ongoing, and advocating hard for more community spaces in the South Dunedin Library as opposed to commercial spaces. So it's wonderful to see that kind of work going on. So the Taieri Network, I'm local in Mosgiel, so I'm very involved with the Taieri Network. The lovely Teresa is the community connector for the Taieri Network. And it has a huge focus on social well-being. So they have a kapa haka group, which I believe is on Wednesday evenings. I never managed to go because, of course, Girl Guides and Brownies is also on Wednesday evenings. So you have to balance all the children's activities. They also do a number of really fun school holiday activities, which really break up the school holidays for us, because school holidays can be incredibly expensive for parents. And they're also very welcoming of children who have disabilities or differences, and really embrace a very diverse group of kids that are taking part in these activities. Even with the sports activities, there is no expectation that you're a prize-winning basketball player. My family has decorated cupcakes, which my daughter did a cartoon class, which was absolutely fantastic. She thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was blown away by the creativity and what, with a little bit of guidance, a young child of 10 can actually produce. So that was wonderful. And we've also done origami with them. I've been involved in an international women's group, which I really enjoyed as well. So the Taieri Network has various things to do for our local community. Another thing that they do, which is really fantastic, is that at Christmas time they run the buses that can take community members around to see the lights that various houses put up at Christmas time. And it's really just a really fun thing to do on a Christmas evening, really get the kids out and do something really, really enjoyable. So that's good fun. And I highly recommend, if you live in the Taieri area, in the Mosgiel area, getting involved with the work of the Taieri Network, because Teresa really puts in a huge amount of effort into making sure that our community is well connected, and there are lots of fun things to be doing. So the other network that DPA is involved with is the Greater Green Island Community Network. Now, one of my close friends is studying social work, and she's been doing a bit of work for them. So they are known for running the Green Island Market Day. They're also involved in various local community projects and involved in connecting the various suburbs surrounding Green Island, so that all the locals in that area can be involved in their community. So getting involved with your local community network is a great way of spending your time and meeting people, and just generally feeling like you are connected and part of a community. And that's something that disabled people often really struggle with, is finding somewhere where they feel that they fit in and they can contribute. And your local community network is a great place to start, because there are spaces for everyone, regardless of your physical ability. And there really is. It's a good volunteering space, because, as I said, there is no expectation that you're a prize-winning basketball player, or that you have any particular skill set. There's always going to be something that you can contribute and that you can enjoy. And as a member of your local community, you know your community best. You know what the needs of that community are, and you can feed that back to your community network. And all these community networks are really well connected to the Dunedin City Council and the Otago Regional Council, and they are feeding back information from the community members about what that particular community needs. And so if you want to be involved in this great work, you can contact the South Dunedin Community Network on admin@southdorg.nz, the Taieri Network on hello@tairienetwork.co.nz. The Greater Green Island Community Network doesn't actually have an email address on their website, but there is a contact form if you access the Greater Green Island Community Network website. Just Google it, and you'll be able to get in touch with them. So that's what I basically have to say today on on organisations that serve the disabled community. There are so many organisations that serve the disabled community, and some of them we've actually highlighted on previous shows, places like MS Otago, or we had lovely Cindy Elder from Able Abodes on our show a few weeks ago. So there is a great amount of community work going on locally at Ōtepoti Dunedin. And if you would like to be involved in these organisations or in any other local organisations, and you need a little bit of help getting in touch with them and really understanding the work that they do, you can always contact me on kaituitui.otipoti@dpa.org.nz, and I'm more than happy to come along with you to any one of these meetings or interact with the people that are involved on your behalf and to try and get you involved in the work that they do. I know that it can often be quite intimidating for disabled people, especially if you're neurodiverse or autistic, actually making that contact and getting involved, but it's really healthy. It is good for us to be involved in the community. It's fulfilling. If you are able to get out of the home, you can then interact with these community networks and other organisations in person. But if you're not able to get out of the home, there's always heaps of community work going on social media and through the internet. So there's something to be said for being involved in your community, whether that's digitally or in person, because it will improve your mood and your self-esteem being involved with other people. And social engagement is so good for us, especially when we're isolated. I don't know about anybody else, but I have found leaving the house this winter to be incredibly difficult. We've had some appalling frosts. I think last week or the week before, we were drowning in frost, and it didn't feel like it thawed until well after sort of 11 o'clock, and half your day is gone, and that can be really not great for your mood, and it can contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression in the disabled community. So we really want to uplift our community through community interactions, and some of these organisations can be incredibly helpful with that. So that's all I have for you today on DPA's Notable Radio. My name's Amy Taylor. I'm the Kaituitui or Community Connector for DPA here in Dunedin. Ka kite and all the best.
Disabled Persons Assembly is Aotearoa, New Zealand's first pan-disability national organisation, providing system-level advocacy for all disabled people. Membership is free for individuals. If you'd like to know more, visit our national website at www.dpa.org.nz or contact your local kaituitui or community connector, Amy Taylor, at kaituitui.otipoti@dpa.org.nz. Disabled Persons Assembly, a whole new attitude.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.